Hey, welcome there to DLTV. Today we're taking a look at the AL playoff picture right here this season. Let's get started right away with tonight's 4-5 seed game between the Penn State alumni, family, friends, and the defending champion Yale Town. Now this game looks pretty even Steven on paper, but let me tell you, Penn State in the past has had Yale Town's number. Yale Town has never beaten Penn State ever. Tonight, will they be able to change that? We will see. Now, Yale Town, coming off the defending champs, as I said, are having a bad season until they won the last 3 games to get the Double E playoff slot. They finished 5-5, not real good finish for a defending champ, but it looks like they're turning the corner. So we'll see whether the guys can do it tonight. Now, Penn State, it all hinges on their big man down low, Charles Zhang. Will Zhang show up? When Zhang comes, he brings the pain. When he don't, they go small ball. Now, they're not bad with Sean Gonzalez, David Chang, and Gary Young, but without the big man in the middle, it's going to be a tough task against the tall front line of Yale Town. That includes Brian Yang, Willis Ho, and Dave Wang. If Freddie Lee got it going on from downtown and Sung's doing his coaching like he does, this game could tip in Yale's favor as they've got momentum on their side. However, like I said, Yale has never beaten Penn State ever. So we got to see what's going to happen. It's going to be real interesting, all right? Next game on the docket tomorrow night. We got the 3rd-seeded SK War Dog. That's singular, dog, no dogs. War Dog taking on 6th-seeded Moe's Tavern. Now let's start with the good stuff. SK finishing 6-3, real strong season. This team's got an NL lineup, if you ask me. They got LJ Aguilo at the point. They've got Arif Ansari. They've got a front line, including him. He's a big beast, former Triple A MVP. They've got AK 47 Tuari, and they've got JR Bautista, old school member of the Wolverines, if you'll recall, for all you old school DL players out there. So they got an NL front line. They've got a Penn State walk-on point guard, and they throw in anyone at the 5th slot: Owen Wang, Andre Liu, Felix Shen. That team, NL caliber. And we're not even counting Josh, the 18-year-old kid who bounced off the team to go to college, who was averaging like 40 points a game. So they got the 3-point shooting, they got the rebounding, they got the muscle, they got the moxie. I don't see anyone really stopping this team. Only they can stop themselves. Now, they take on Moe's Tavern, which, God rest this team's spirit, is the most heartless team I've ever known in my lifetime. This team, notwithstanding a few players, I'm sorry for those who take offense, has absolutely no heart. Their players have quit on them this season. Players don't show up for whatever flimsy excuses, and they treat this with absolutely no respect. Now, they've got a talented team, no doubt, especially coming back from injury. Danny Chin and Jay provide some oomph to their lineup, as well as Sato Nakajima, a late-season addition. But without some of their players' heads in the game, or bodies present, for that matter, this team has absolutely no shot. They finished 3-6. They used to be one of the league's best teams, and they've fallen all the way to near bottom. Now, I don't see them having a chance in hell against the SK War Dog, so really there's not much more to talk about here. If they win, I'll eat my hat that I'm wearing on my head. In the next game, going on to Sunday's docket, we've got the 2nd-seeded Rage taking on the 7th-seeded Moneyball. Another team here, Moneyball, quite like Moe's, dropping, falling from grace. They were last season's runner-up, losing to Yale Town in the championship series. This season, they've fallen all the way to 3-6 and one of the worst teams in the division. I don't know what's going on, quite frankly, folks. They bolstered their lineup. They added athletes. They're long. They're strong. They still got Ray Huang. They got Nick Gao. But, man, pow, nothing's happening. They're just shooting up blanks there. They've got bad chemistry. Nick Gao's looking really uncomfortable down there in the post. And Ray Huang, I'll tell you what, Ray was a former DL All-League player. And this season, for whatever reason, he got married. Maybe he got fat. He got lazy. Things ain't happening for him. He's shooting 11.5% from three-point land. 11.5%, folks. He was one of the most feared three-point shooters in all the land, and now he's at 11.5%. Tell you what, that tells you everything you need to know. But they still got Vic Lin, they got Jeremy Tan, and the team is capable. They are capable of making a run. I'm not counting them out. They do have heart, unlike Moe's Tavern. They got heart. Let's not forget that. But they're taking on the 2nd seed Rage, who, let me tell you something. The Rage Rage finished 6-3, best season ever for them. And they have got, again, another near NL-worthy lineup going for them. Their front line of Joe Yen and Sean Baby Yao Zhang, they putting up high digits. They're scoring in the upper teens and grabbing 10 rebounds a game. That's 2 double-doubles in the low post for them. Not to mention Yang steps out to the three-point land sometimes. Jerry Liu, nice little swing man going for them. That lefty jump shot and drive for him is real effective. So with the three of them scoring over double digits, I think they're going to be awfully tough to contain for Moneyball. The X factor for Rage and how far they go in the playoffs, however, really rests on their point guard's shoulders. Ace. He's the ace. Ace Watana. He has been missing in action. He's only showed up for 3 games this season for the Rage, so I don't know what his deal is. But if he shows up, this team is a potential championship caliber squad. Right now, as it stands, without him in the lineup, they can go far. I see them going far, but with Ace in there, they're going to go all the way. You mark that. If that don't happen, they'll go all the way to the championship. Let me retract my statement. They may not win, but they will get all the way to the final game if Ace shows up. If they don't, I'll eat this hat on my head. Okay, and moving on. We finally got the number 1 seeded Hype Beasts taking on Ace seed Matrix, who beat the Roswell Ray Guns in the play-in game last week. Let's start with the number 1 team, the Hype Beasts. Can anyone take on the Hype Beasts? Hype Beasts finished 9-0, finishing yet another undefeated season, coming off one last season when they won the AAA crown. This team has no weaknesses, top to bottom. I'm talking 1 through 9. They've got players who can make plays. You substitute anyone in, they don't drop a beat. None of their players averaged over double figures this season. They had 6 players. 6 players... Was it? Yeah, 6 players that average over 6 points or more in the game for the season. Ian Yu led with just sub 10-point season, but he's capable of going on for 20 and giving as any of their other players. But what they do is they play an unselfish brand of ball. They pass the ball around. They play great team defense. They put on this full court press. Most teams can't get it past half court with them doing that. They've got deep shooters, Virgilio Borbo. They have Victor Ng shooting there, stroking when he gets hot. They're just hot to stop. They're hard to stop. And Howie Chu in the middle. Now, Howie Chu is an interesting player. In the NL, he's playing really well. In the AL, I feel like he's slacking off a little bit. But you know what? That's because he's got these phenomenal guards all around him, swarming him, running, shooting, draining, stealing, passing. So they haven't really had to go to the post much in this season. Will that change in the playoffs? We'll see. In this particular matchup, the Matrix got Charlie Chang, who's coming off probably the best game of the season for him in the play-in game win. Will he be able to contend? Will he be able to slow down Howie if Howie gets going? I don't know. I find that tough. Dean Chu and Charlie Chang are going to have their hands full in the post there with Howie. Will Dave Wong, Vegas Dave, coming off 3 straight games. So get this, he scored 40, 30, and 28 in his last 3 games. He's averaging 32.7 points a game in his last 3 games. If he goes for 50 in this game, Matrix may have an outside shot, but I just really don't see that happening. I mean, Dave can get 50, but that means that comes at the expense of the rest of his team doing much of anything. Now, the Knock Knock brothers, Junji and Hiro. How important are they going to be? Hiro's back. He's been out a little bit with different reasons. He had an injury. He was stuck in the LIE during a rainstorm earlier this month. He is one of the league's preeminent defenders. But is he going to be able to keep up with the speedy, young, hype beast guards? We'll see. Junji's offensive game has suffered a little bit with Dave in the lineup this season. They'll really need to get him going. I mean, they're going to have to play above their heads. They're going to play phenomenally well. They're coming off a terrible season. They won the play-in game. I mean, really, the Hype Beasts are probably going to win this in all honesty. And the Hype Beasts, again, they're probably going to go all the way. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They're the team to beat, 9-0. They've got the best offense in the league, averaging over 52 points a game. They've got the best defense in the league, stifling teams under 40 points a game. I mean, if anyone can beat them, it's themselves. So there you have it. That's the AL look this week. We'll come back next week with the wrap-up of what happened with these games and look forward to the following week's games. Otherwise, if we don't do that, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat my hat.